Welcome to KQEG and Seven Rivers Sports. I'm your host, Terry Erickson. Each week, an inside look into sports, wellness, and fitness. Well, today we profile Logan High School Girls Basketball with Claire Borsheim, Sydnie Adams. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Two outstanding student athletes. Student first, athlete second. As we tape the show here, January 3rd, we just celebrated the holiday season. As you reflect back, Claire, as a junior in high school, you reflect back on your life. It's a time for reflection, time for intentionality and setting goals for 2019. Talk about that.
Well, my goals for 2019 are, I do a lot of basketball in my life, so I'm really looking forward to my AAU season and visiting a bunch of colleges and looking forward to life after high school.
Well, don't fast forward your life away. Remember, you're only a junior.
Correct, yeah.
Go back to 2018 and prior to that. What are you thankful for as a high school student?
I'm thankful for, I really love my high school. There's many high schools in our conference, and I just think Logan has the best, it's the best place for me. Even though sometimes things don't go our way at our high school, I think that our teachers really prepare us for college very well, and I'm very grateful for that.
Sydnie Adams, a senior. What's special about Logan High School?
They always say it's a family, and that sounds a little cliche and whatnot, but it actually is. Like, you can go to any single teacher and they will be there for you to help you out. It's just like, you don't feel like out of place. You don't have to worry about anything. Like, it's just a very comfortable setting.
Happy New Year to you too. And let's reflect a little bit on your life. And I know you're an outstanding student and you have a lot of depth and substance to you. What are you thankful for so far in your life?
So much. I'm thankful that I have my family backing me up on everything I do. Like, my parents are always there for me, whether I win or lose a game, whether something doesn't go well for me in school, they'll back me up, and they're very proud of how far I've come in my education. And I'm just thankful for the education that I'm able to get and just the people that I get to be surrounded with every day.
And so in 2019, have you set any intentions that you want to try to accomplish?
I just want to start fresh. Anything I regret in 2018 that may have occurred, or anything I wish I could change about myself, I want to just be able to start fresh and change those things about me and just focus on my health. I want to work out as much as I can. That's one of my main goals.
Well, speaking of working out, both of you maintain a high level of fitness, and you work hard on nutrition. You work hard on becoming a really well-rounded athlete because you're all multi-sport athletes. So what's the expectations you have for yourself in terms of staying in such good shape? And how do you do that, Sydnie?
Well, we have practices every day a week or games. So outside of that, I'll go do abs or core afterwards, because core plays a role in every sport, everything you do. And then on the weekends when I don't have practice, or if we have practice on Saturday, I'll still go lift, or I'll lift after practice when we have lifting as a team. And I just try and eat right and drink as much water as I can throughout the day.
And you're a multi-sport athlete?
Yeah.
Favorite sport?
Volleyball.
And that's your strongest gift too?
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what my strongest gift is.
And what about, you've excelled in everything. And so you're an exceptional all-around athlete. And so by doing that, you've been better in everything because you don't specialize.
Yeah. My 2 years that I did track, it really helped me, because track prepares you for every sport. It gets you in really good shape. So that was really beneficial.
And Claire, you're a multi-sport athlete, again a junior. You've excelled in other sports, and you've kept yourself in good shape. And talk about how you've done that and maybe some secrets for success.
I think being a multi-sport athlete helps you in so many ways that when, let's say I'm in volleyball, it helps me prepare for my next sports too. It doesn't just help me in volleyball excel in those sports. Like in volleyball, there's a lot of jumping and footwork involved in it, and I can tell that it's helped me a lot in basketball by my vertical's gone up through volleyball, and it just makes me a better all-around player.
Favorite sport?
Basketball.
So nutrition. A lot of young people maybe don't understand, and it hasn't been pointed out, the importance of nutrition. Share with our viewers how important nutrition is to you, Claire.
For me, I gotta say my nutrition's not amazing, but that's definitely one thing that I know I have to work on to play more years and hopefully in college. And I can definitely see in all the players that I play against or watch, you can tell which ones have good nutrition or keep on a better structure.
And let's go down the proverbial yellow brick road back down into when you started and were introduced to athletics. Talk about that.
So the first sport I played was t-ball through the Boys and Girls Club. I was watching my brother play. He was 4 or 5, and I was just watching. I was 3 at the time, which you can't, most kids start at 4, but I started at 3 because I was always running around. I was basically playing with them anyway. So that's how I started sports, and with my brother, I always went to his practices. I was always involved in some sport at one time or another.
So when you hit the ball off the tee, you went directly to which base, first or third?
I mean, I hope first. Exactly.
Because I've seen young people, second, third grade, kindergarten, they'll hit the ball, get so excited they'll go to the wrong base.
Yep.
So you did go to first.
I hope I went to first.
And how were you introduced to athletics, Sydnie?
My family is very athletic and competitive, so I'm pretty sure I started off swimming. My mom always took me to swimming lessons when I was younger, and I just enjoyed always being active and moving. So I did t-ball as well, and I joined so many different clubs that it eventually got hard on my mom to bring me everywhere at once in one day. But I mean, I love sports. It's a part of my life every day.
And you've been exposed to a lot of different coaches with different styles,
yes,
different approaches. What's without naming necessarily a certain coach, but the characteristics of what you think is the coach that you enjoy playing for?
I enjoy being able to joke around but still be serious. I enjoy them wanting the best for us, pushing us to be our best, but not setting too high of standards for us where they know it's not reachable quite yet. Not that it will never be, but it gets frustrating when they just expect so much out of you when you're not to that point yet. But this year, honestly, I love our coaches. They're great. They have done such a good job with us.
And of course, Claire, you have been exposed to a lot of coaches because you're on the AAU trail, and you've traveled all over the country, and when you grew up at the club, you had all kinds of coaches too. The kind of coach you like to play for?
I like to play for a coach who lets the players play their game. That a lot of players, they need to play how they play, and with coaches, I don't like when they want their players to play how they want to play.
So you don't want to be conformed to a certain you want to be able to expand and stretch.
Yeah.
And you want to be creative.
Yeah, at the higher level in high school, most kids should know how to play the sport, hopefully. And with varsity, most kids need to know, they already know how to play, and the coaches know that. So all the fundamentals are already down, and I feel like it's better when you just play basketball without so much structure.
Well, in fact, I talked to your coach a little bit, and we're going to talk about that in the second half of the show. But still, a lot of authors that watch the game and analysts and so on say that the game is broken down a little bit because there's not enough emphasis and re-emphasis and reteaching the fundamentals. How do you feel about that, Sydnie?
I think it's important to know your fundamentals. Everything comes from fundamentals. You're not going to be able to be a good shooter unless you work on your form. And so I agree with like teaching fundamentals, but there's a certain point that you get to where fundamentals should just be a habit of yours. You shouldn't have to teach it every single practice. Like, yeah, I get like a first practice of a season, like first week or so, work on fundamentals, like see who is at what point.
Okay. You know, there was a famous coach, his name was John Wooden, one of the most famous coaches in collegiate athletics. And he would teach, his basketball players were the best in the nation at UCLA, and they would work on fundamentals, breaking down the game even the day before a big game in the Final Four championship game, just to stress the importance of fundamentals to teach you to expand your game. So anyway, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, more as we profile Logan Girls Basketball right after this.
With our busy lives, it's a comfort to know that we can still remember loved ones in a traditional way with a monument. Lewiston Monuments in Lewiston, Minnesota has been helping families purchase a monument for over 4 generations. You'll find a large selection of beautiful granite, marble, and bronze monuments, all at competitive prices. And they're a full-service company, so they also do straightening, cleaning, and repair of monuments. Stop in or call for a no-obligation consultation, or visit lewistonmonument.com for more information.
At Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, we have assembled a championship team
who listens to what your needs are.
We install carrier comfort systems that improve the comfort, efficiency, and the air quality of your home and workplace.
We serve you with highly trained technicians who are prompt, friendly, and honest.
For Gold Star treatment, turn to the experts, Carrier and Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning.
Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, your comfort is our business.
Welcome back to Seven Rivers Sports again. Today we're profiling Logan Girls Basketball with junior Claire Borsheim and senior Sydnie Adams. Well, I talked to your coach, Abby Weidman. Here's what she said about you, Sydnie. She said, a great leader, team captain. Her length and size is a huge asset, and an awesome shot, can hit from anywhere on the floor. What's your thought on that?
Well, I'm very appreciative of what she said. I have always worked on my shot, and I've never been confident in it, so it's nice to know that she has confidence in me with my shot.
Why haven't you been confident?
Basketball has never been my strength personally as a sport. I've always felt awkward doing it, and in past, my coaches never made me feel as confident as Abby does. And so it kind of pushed me back in my shell.
Are you hard on yourself?
Yeah.
Most athletes are. So when you evaluate your game or your practice, typically you're not real satisfied.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. And with Claire Borsheim, again, a junior, here's what your coach said about you: an offensive catalyst for the team, one of the best shooters and players in the conference, and creating shots. I like that because good players create shots and helping to create shots and opportunities for teammates. Does that describe you?
I would say that's a pretty good description. I'd say one of the things that I try to do in games is it's not always scoring. Yes, I do shoot more than most players on the team, but I also try to make good shots for other players. As a lot of coaches say, don't take good shots, take great shots. So I always try to make great shots rather than just the good shots.
The players that I admire are those that make others better by being on the court. Not all players do that. Let's be honest. Do you feel that's your role?
As a guard, I feel like that should be a lot of the guard's roles. As a shooting guard, most of it is about the shooting part of it and scoring and just getting shots up. And I feel at a point guard position, I feel like that's more of a point guard to do to get the offense going and create more opportunities for the team.
Well, I mentioned that as a senior you're a captain.
Yes.
Sydnie, and a lot of people you're a captain, that means you go and talk to the referees before the game, and that's really essentially it. No. Captain is somebody that is kind of a coach on the court and has responsibility. In other words, working with those players that maybe aren't living up to expectations, making bad decisions, helping to eliminate drama on a team. How do you see your role as a captain?
I see my role as trying to get the best out of everybody on the court, pushing them to do their limits when we're slacking, get them to go harder, get them to go their full potential, and also just being positive. So if like somebody messes up, cheering for them, even though, because everybody makes mistakes. And just like always being there for them, not having our teammates scared to come to one of us, just being there and open.
So both of you, I introduced you as student athletes, as student first, athlete second, and you're both exceptional in the academic world, and your classroom comes first. And I know one of the things you mentioned in your profile is that you really are a strong student, and you think that that is the most important part of your high school experience. Talk about that.
Middle school was not the best time for me. I didn't focus on school as much as I should have. It was just really hard for me. And so growing up and going into high school, I was like, high school, I'm going to make it a really good time for me. Like, this is going to be really good. I'm going to get all A's. I want to keep a 4.0 GPA. I just really want to focus on it because sports are there, yes, and they're fun, but they're not always going to be there for me, whereas education is going to take me really far.
Okay, let's fast forward now, because you're moving to another chapter of your life here pretty quick. Graduate in 5 months and off. Where is Sydnie Adams going to go?
I am not 100% sure yet, but I think I'm going to the University of Stout in Menominee.
And
I think I want to do something with business, but things change all the time, so I'm just like not really sure.
And you don't have to be sure. And as a junior, you're not too sure, I'm sure, that what you're going to pursue, but you're a student, you're an exceptional student too, and you take that very serious.
Thank you. I actually do know what I'm going to do, hopefully. I want to go to college for real estate development, as my dad does on the side. And I've always thought it was really interesting what he does. And I always like to go to the meetings and just see what's going on with that. And it's always interested me. And hopefully I want to come back and help him run all of his properties.
But you got another year and a half yet before you even move on to college.
I do.
So does the academics, the studies, does that come easy for you?
Not all the time. There's some subjects where it does come pretty easily for me, but there's definitely a few that I struggle with and I have to put a lot of work into.
Favorite subject?
I would say either government or math.
Favorite teacher?
Ooh. This is debatable. I've always liked my math teachers, Miss Kay and Mr. Merle.
Favorite substitute teacher?
Ooh. I'm going to say Terry Erickson.
Favorite subject for you, Sydnie?
I think my favorite subject is either math or anat and phys.
Oh, you're taking some tough classes too, huh?
Yeah.
And you can balance that with being a 3-sport athlete, both of you? That's not challenging?
It's challenging. It's hard. But I just try and focus as much as I can, and I try to get as much as I can get done in school. And like my teachers this is what I love about Logan, they're just so understanding, where if I get home at like midnight to 1 from a basketball game, she'll let me come in and take the quiz a day later.
Oh, yeah. So if I asked you, the teammates, to describe you, Sydnie, what would they say in a very succinct way?
Oh, I don't know. Want to ask Claire?
I will, but then I'm going to come back to you.
Okay.
So what would they say about you?
Hopefully they say that I'm a good teammate, and I always try to help kids on the court because I'm very fortunate that in my house we talk about basketball a lot, so I have a very high basketball IQ, and I understand that not all players have that. So I try to help them out in understanding the game more.
So you send a sort of a subliminal message like, I'm there for you. Mm-hmm. Good. And would they say something similar?
I would hope so. I would hope that they think I am a leader, and that like I feel like I bring some joy to the game, or like just like fun, because like I'm not always serious. Like I like to have fun. So I don't know, I hope so in that way.
You know, there's several authors that talk about being a good player, being a good teammate, and talk about the various characteristics. One is humility, giving credit to others and not necessarily the limelight on yourself. Others is being charitable meaning pulling for others, also similar. Sportsmanship, treating others with dignity, be gracious when you win, and be humble when you win and gracious when you lose. And finally, toughness, being mentally tough. Which one of those would describe you, Claire?
I always like to make sure I have good sportsmanship between the other players, my team, and the referees. I never try to yell at the referees. I know that sometimes it comes off like, yeah, if I disagree with a call, I might say something, but I always try to keep it light and not look too hard on that.
Well, I'm sure a lot of our viewers know this, but some officials do miss calls occasionally.
Occasionally.
And of course, some players miss layups too. So it goes hand in hand. Which one would describe you?
I would think kind of having everybody's back, like just wanting them to be the best that they can, like cheering everybody on for every play they do, like good or bad, just being there for them.
Good. Well, right now, as we tape the show here on January 3rd, the Rangers are 2-9, and we will be courtside on Friday when you play Central. And then, of course, looking at the rest of your schedule, what are we going to see from the Rangers throughout the rest of the year, Claire?
Throughout the rest of the year, we're hoping to come back and win the games that we should have. We know the games that we should have won, and we were close in a lot of games, and we're hoping to come back and prove to the other teams that we are good and we know how to play basketball.
How do you define success as an athlete, though?
Success comes in many different ways. It's not always just one way that shows success. It can be, obviously it can be in your record, but it can also show in just improvement from seasons. Like last season, it was not a perfect situation for us, and we know with our coaching change and everything that's happened, if a spectator watched us last season to this season, I know that they would see a difference in the way we play and just on court, and that's obviously success for us.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing that starting Friday night, but then we'll be broadcasting some additional Logan girls games throughout the season. And what are we going to see as you end your career? Now you have 6-8 games left in your career. What are we going to see from Sydnie Adams?
I'm hoping to see more confidence on the court, and just having fun on the court. When we played against the Crescent at the holiday tournament this past weekend, we had a blast on the court. We just all really clicked and connect, and I just want to be able to have fun on the court again and maybe make some more threes.
And you as a senior and as a captain, you're part of building a culture, and it sounds like you both are a big part of sort of the turnaround and maybe some excitement ahead for the Logan Rangers. All right, well, you've done a great job. We appreciate you taking time to be on the show. Again, our guest today, Claire Borsheim, a junior, and Sydnie Adams, a senior. Thanks for being on the show, guys.
Thank you for having us.
We'll be back with some thoughts on some clips of a recent game right after this.
At Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, we have assembled a championship team
who listens to what your needs are.
We install Carrier comfort systems that improve the comfort, efficiency, and the air quality of your home and workplace.
We serve you with highly trained technicians who are prompt, friendly, and honest.
For Gold Star treatment, turn to the experts, Carrier and Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning.
Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning. Your comfort is our business.
When you're faced with the decision of selecting a monument to honor someone dear to you, call Lewiston Monuments for a no-obligation consultation. Lewiston Monument is a full-service monument company, serving families in Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin for over 4 generations. You'll find beautiful granite, marble, and bronze memorials, all at competitive prices. Their experts can help you design the perfect and unique memorial. Lewiston Monument. Call today or on the web at lewistonmonument.com.
Welcome back to Seven Rivers Sports. Well, basketball again as we continue on the road to the playoffs. Rick and I were at West Salem High School on Friday night for a much anticipated matchup between the 2 top teams in the Cooley Conference, the Redhawks of GET and the West Salem Panthers. The teams exchanged leads throughout the first half, with West Salem closing out with an 18-2 run and a 9-point lead at the break. Seniors Malachi Athnos and Mitchell Dunham keyed the run. Athnos scored 16 of his game-high 19 points in the first half, and Dunham added all of his 13 points. GET made 5 3-pointers in the second half, with Jacob Jumbeck tallying 3 from long range. Alex Pearson scored 23 points to lead the Redhawks. Jumbeck and Sawyer Smith had 16 points apiece. West Salem's Trenton Foreman was hampered with foul issues but still scored 10 points. With the win, the Redhawks take over first place in the Cooley. West Salem falls to second, a half game ahead of Westby and Onalaska Luther. The final from West Salem, GET 86 and the West Salem Panthers 71. Well, that does it this week here on Seven Rivers Sports. I'm your host, Terry Erickson, hoping you will have an active and a healthy weekend.